Get ready to dive into stories that go beyond the ordinary. I created this channel to challenge your imagination and give you a front row seat to compelling, advanced narratives. To keep these stories coming, please subscribe, like, and share with others who love this great story. Before we start, thank you at Rock Your Mind for the support. Be safe while driving. Now let's continue.
Finally, Lin Moyu's permissions reached level 5. The difference between level 4 and level 5 was like entering a completely different world. When he had level 4 permissions, his activities were limited to the Vermilion Bird Star domain and the battlefield. Once his permissions reached level 5, his activity range was no longer restricted. He could freely move throughout the entire Great World, including the other 3 major star domains of the human race, except for the Divine City. Almost all the teleportation arrays of the human race would be open to him. Besides this, there were other changes with level 5 permissions. Lin Moyu was about to check when he suddenly heard a familiar voice. "Lin Boy, come over here." In the Great World, there were only a few people who would call him Lin Boy. Zhu Qiwu was one, and the other was Zhu Tian. Lin Moyu looked up in the direction of the voice and saw Zhu Tian's vehicle. It was also a small, exquisite warship, very similar to Zhu Qiwu's warship, a replica of the ancient warship Zhu Qiwu had. In the Great World, the combat power of the two warships was not much different. However, on the battlefield, Zhu Qiwu's warship could easily overpower Zhu Tian's replica. The warship's door was already open, and Lin Moyu flew in, meeting Zhu Tian. The layout inside the two warships was identical, with no differences. Moreover, Zhu Tian and Zhu Qiwu's temperaments, attire, and clothing were very similar. Lin Moyu felt that the two must have some relationship, perhaps from the same family. "Greetings, Domain Lord," Lin Moyu saluted Zhu Tian. Zhu Tian looked at this outstanding junior with a satisfied smile. "Not bad, not bad. You've grown a lot in these few years." Lin Moyu smiled. "Thanks to Senior Zhu's help, I've benefited greatly." Zhu Tian laughed heartily. "No need to be so modest. You might not know, but my senior brother has praised you to the skies. People outside call you the second war god of the human race, and I think that's not an exaggeration." Lin Moyu then realized that Zhu Qiwu was Zhu Tian's senior brother, making them fellow disciples. No wonder they were so similar. Lin Moyu humbly said, "Senior Zhu is exaggerating. I dare not compare myself to the war god." Knowing when to be humble was natural for Lin Moyu. He wasn't a reckless youth who would lose his sense of reality after a few compliments. Zhu Tian's smile never faded. "You're about to leave. Do you have anything else to do?" Lin Moyu shook his head. "Everything is done." He had already informed Yuzhu that he would leave at any time, and there was nothing else to say. Zhu Tian nodded, piloting the warship to slowly fly away along the beacon. The two arrived at the teleportation array, left the warship, and activated the teleportation array, leaving the Vermilion Bird battlefield. As the teleportation array activated, the battlefield token emitted a strong light, then quickly dimmed and silently turned to dust. Upon leaving the battlefield, all information in the battlefield token, along with the token itself, would be erased by the Human Emperor network. However, this information would be stored in the Human Emperor network and would not disappear. When Lin Moyu returned to the battlefield, he would receive a brand new battlefield token, and the Human Emperor network would fill it with his previous information. During the teleportation, Lin Moyu clearly felt the battlefield's aura fading away, replaced by the increasingly strong aura of the Great World. Eventually, the Great World's aura completely replaced the battlefield's, and he had truly left the battlefield, returning to the Great World. The aura of the Human Emperor network began to strengthen rapidly. Memories surged, and he remembered when he first entered the battlefield as a true god. In just a few years, he had become a god king. What took others hundreds or thousands of years, he had accomplished in a few short years. It felt somewhat unreal, like a dream. Zhu Tian interrupted Lin Moyu's thoughts. After the teleportation ended, he took out the warship again. The warship set sail and instantly disappeared into the starry sky. Zhu Tian smiled. "You have level 5 permissions now. Check out the changes." Zhu Tian's personality was slightly different from Zhu Qiwu's. Both were kind and treated him well. Zhu Qiwu, perhaps due to not speaking for many years, was more reserved, while his clone was more active and often joked with him. Zhu Tian, although Zhu Qiwu's junior brother, was actually more mature. Lin Moyu felt this was due to their different environments. Zhu Qiwu guarded the battlefield and didn't need much interaction, while Zhu Tian, as the domain lord of the Vermilion Bird Star domain, dealt with many people and matters, naturally becoming more composed. Regardless of their personalities, both treated him well, and Lin Moyu could feel their sincerity. After returning to the Great World, the aura of the Human Emperor network became very strong, distinctly different from Fortress No. 1. With a mere thought, Lin Moyu connected to the Human Emperor network and immediately checked his information. Lin Moyu, Honorary 2nd Lieutenant. Age, 36. Level, God King 3rd rank. Soul, 5th grade low. Potential evaluation, Legendary. Highest permission, Level 5. Comprehensive strength, Minor God Sovereign. Points, 1,101,850. Military merit, 210,676. Contribution points, 16. Military supply points, 3. Human Emperor training ground time, 3,500 days. Mastered law, Undying law. The information hadn't changed much, except for his age increasing by 1 year and his permissions rising from level 4 to level 5. To reach level 6 permissions, he would need a staggering 10 million points. Currently, he had only 1 million points, far from the requirement for level 6 permissions. As far as he knew, even some god sovereigns might not reach level 6 permissions. In the Vermilion Bird Star domain, very few could achieve level 6 permissions. His total points exceeded 7 million, allowing him to purchase many things, though he didn't have much need for them. Lin Moyu then checked the changes brought by level 5 permissions. Firstly, his activity range expanded, allowing him to go anywhere in the Great World except the Divine City. Secondly, he could access more information, including data from the other 3-star domains of the human race. Thirdly, he could directly accept and complete tasks wherever the Human Emperor network was available, with only a few tasks requiring a return to the task center. There were many changes with level 5 permissions, and Lin Moyu noted them all. He didn't delve into the detailed information, as there was too much to read in a short time. When he returned to reality, he saw Zhu Tian smiling at him, holding a bow in his hand. The bow was small and exquisite, covered in mysterious runes, and emitted a powerful aura. It was a soul treasure of the God Sovereign level, at least mid-grade. Mid-grade soul treasures were much more valuable than low-grade ones, comparable to high-grade ordinary treasures. Zhu Tian smiled. This is from Madame Yu. The small bow flew from Zhu Tian's hand to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's expression became serious. Madame Yu is too generous. He had expected a mid-grade ordinary treasure, which would have been good enough. Even with the mysterious figure speaking for him, he thought Madame Yu would likely choose a good low-grade treasure. He hadn't expected a mid-grade soul treasure, showing Madame Yu's generosity. Lin Moyu cast the soul probing technique on the exquisite small bow. Soul shooting bow, a mid-grade soul treasure of the Sacred Lord realm. It condenses soul force into arrows. The stronger the user's soul, the more powerful the arrows, capable of breaking through the soul defenses of beings at the same realm. Seeing the introduction of this bow, Lin Moyu was slightly startled in his heart. The power of this bow was completely dependent on the strength of the user's soul. If the user's soul reached the peak of the 4th grade, then the attack power unleashed by this bow would surpass the peak 4th grade, enough to break through the soul defenses of someone at the same peak 4th grade soul level. However, this had a prerequisite, that the opponent did not possess any defensive soul treasures. But those who could reach the peak of the 4th grade soul were all high-level sacred lords. How could they not have defensive soul treasures? Lin Moyu was very clear that if he used the soul shooting bow to attack other cultivators in the Beyond Realm, it would definitely be useless. In the Beyond Realm, how could one not have defensive soul treasures? They would at least have soul robes. Even a peak sacred lord like Zhu Tian would definitely have defensive treasures. Lin Moyu might not even be able to break through his defenses. However, regardless of this, the value of the soul shooting bow was comparable to many high-grade treasures of the Sacred Lord realm. If calculated in points, its value would be in the trillions, or even priceless. No amount of money could buy it. Lin Moyu's soul force emerged and imprinted itself on the soul shooting bow. He then stored it within his soul, allowing his soul to slowly refine it. Refining a treasure required time, especially a mid-grade soul treasure of the Sacred Lord realm. It could not be completed instantly. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry. His soul was powerful enough, so it would not take too long. Lin Moyu could not help but sigh. Madame Yu is very generous. Zhu Tian's eyes carried a smile. According to Madame Yu, the mysterious lord helped speak on your behalf. Zhu Tian and Zhu Qiwu were master-disciple brothers, so their mysterious lord was naturally the same person. After learning of their relationship, Lin Moyu basically guessed the identity of the mysterious lord. Back then, the mysterious lord did say to Zhu Qiwu that as long as Lin Moyu completed the mission, he would speak up for him. It seemed this person's status was extraordinary. His words carried great weight before Madame Yu. Lin Moyu's tone was sincere. Many thanks to that senior. Zhu Tian smiled and said, the mysterious lord's name is Jun Hao, known as the Sacred Lord Hao. Sacred Lord? Is that a title in the Beyond Realm? Lin Moyu's heart moved, and he blurted out in askance. Zhu Tian shook his head. The Beyond Realm refers to the realm itself. Sacred Lord is an honorific title. Not all beings in the Beyond Realm have the qualification to be called a Sacred Lord. Actually, this information should not have been told to you yet. However, the mysterious Lord said there is no need to hide anything from you. There were strict levels of information disclosure among the human race. Different realms had access to different levels of information. Just like when Lin Moyu was a true god, it was very difficult for him to learn about the Sacred Lord realm. Of course, this hierarchy was not absolute. Some ancient clans with long heritages, like the Yu family, could know some information about the Beyond Realm. Lin Moyu was very clear about this. Not only in the Great World but also in the lower worlds, it was the same. For someone like himself who came from a lower world, the only way to learn deeper information was to continuously improve his own strength. From a certain perspective, the human race did this as a form of motivation. You want to know more? Then climb higher. The higher you climb, the more you can learn. Now that his soul had reached the low 5th grade of the Beyond Realm, his eventual ascension to the Beyond Realm itself was a certainty. Even Madame Yu was willing to treat him as an equal. So it was understandable for him to gain some information. Lin Moyu murmured softly, the powerful beings in the Beyond Realm can be called Sacred Lords. Domain Lord, is Madame Yu a Sacred Lord? Zhu Tian did not directly answer but his actions gave the response. He was not in the Beyond Realm yet, so he could not casually discuss the existences in the Beyond Realm. Lin Moyu understood. From this, it seemed that Madame Yu's strength was actually not as high as the Sacred Lord Hao. But Zhu Qiwu had said that Madame Yu was already an outstanding figure in the Beyond Realm. From this, one could deduce that the Sacred Lord Hao's strength was likely at the peak of the Beyond Realm. Powerful, truly powerful. Lin Moyu recalled his few encounters with the Sacred Lord Hao. The Sacred Lord's casual words often carried an overbearing aura. Even when mentioning the ancient Buddha of the Buddha race, there was a hint of disdain. His strength was the source of his confidence. When the Buddha Tathagata was killed by Lin Moyu, it was the Sacred Lord Hao who went to the Buddha race to demand an explanation. One person suppressed the entire Buddha race, preventing them from making a sound. Such was his domineering might. The two words, Sacred Lord, lingered in Lin Moyu's mind for a long time. Lin Moyu believed that in the future, he would also reach this realm. However, the Sacred Lord was not the end. He would surpass the Sacred Lord and become even stronger. Become the invincible, undefeatable powerhouse that Antares spoke of, one capable of defying the heavens and changing fate. The warship continued to jump through the starry void, heading towards its destination. Lin Moyu and Zhu Tian chatted for a while longer. Lin Moyu began to browse some new information. After reaching level 5 permissions, he could access even more data. Some information was free, while some required payment. For Lin Moyu's current wealth, the fees for accessing information were negligible. 2 days later, the Human Emperor Network interrupted Lin Moyu's thoughts. Congratulations on completing the chain mission, Part 2. Completion level, perfect. Rewards, 100,000 mission points, 10 million regular points. Congratulations on obtaining the qualification to enter the Divine City, beginner level. A familiar voice rang in his ears. Lin Moyu abruptly raised his head, his gentle gaze instantly becoming sharp. The second chain mission was finally completed, with a perfect completion level as well. The mission point and regular point rewards were expected by Lin Moyu. The key was that he no longer needed to complete the third chain mission and directly obtained the qualification to enter the Divine City. However, this qualification had the beginner level mark after it. Lin Moyu recalled Zhu Qiwu's words that within the Divine City, there were also hierarchical levels. The beginner level qualification was a form of restriction. Since there was a beginner level, there must also be intermediate and advanced levels. The division of levels existed everywhere, and Lin Moyu was not surprised, accepting it naturally. Entering the Divine City was not the end but rather a new beginning. Since that was the case, he would start from the beginning and progress towards the end. Zhu Tian was drinking tea and saw Lin Moyu suddenly become dazed. He smiled and asked, "What's wrong?" Lin Moyu answered honestly, "I have completed the second chain mission and obtained the qualification to enter the Divine City." Zhu Tian did not seem surprised at all, as if it was a matter of course. Your completion level for the second chain mission was perfect, so naturally you would obtain the qualification to enter the Divine City. Moreover, you directly reached the beginner level upon entry. The corner of Lin Moyu's mouth twitched. Isn't the beginner level the lowest? Zhu Tian laughed, of course not. Most people, when they obtain the qualification for the Divine City, do not have any level. They can only move within the outer areas of the Divine City and then try to improve their level. The level represents your status within the Divine City. The higher your level, the more rights and resources you can enjoy. The total amount of resources is limited. The best resources are always reserved for the strongest. Zhu Tian explained some more things about the Divine City to Lin Moyu. Some things, Lin Moyu would naturally understand after entering the Divine City. But Zhu Tian explained them in advance, allowing Lin Moyu to be prepared and have a better understanding.